What's going on, trading homies? My name is Bobby in HD, and welcome back to episode 2 of Conquering the Combine. Yesterday on episode 1, we took some great trades in an otherwise messy market, and despite a 50% win loss on our trades, we came out ahead to the tune of over $1,400. Now, as we continue to progress towards our goal of conquering that Topstep 150K Combine, we are entering day 2 with more large newsprints, great price action, and great trades. So let's go ahead and get into it and take a look at how we did. All right, so let's take a look at our executions for the day. And we can see that the market actually still open here and trading. Really clean price action and clean executions lead to an early end of the trading day, with it not even being noon here on the East Coast, and we're already locked up in profit with a green day. That really feels great. So let's take a look at how we got to our $2,000 green day for day 2, eclipsing day 1 and setting us off on a great start to conquering this combine. So we were certainly a busy bee today with a lot of executions here, but the market was really following our levels and making a lot of sense. We see that we were primarily getting long in and around our levels of interest. We have our 183 level that we were mentioning yesterday, for those of you following along with the Conquering the Combine series. And we also have this 143 level here at the bottom that was set by a sell-off off the open that we'll talk about a little more in just a bit. So we were primarily getting long down here and selling up into the top of the range as the market ranged there under that 243 level that we were also looking at from yesterday. So some really clean price action there and great executions. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the major events and trades of the day and see how we got here. All right, so before we hop into our trade walkthrough for the day, I wanted to take a look at one of the big newsprints of the day, the JOLTS job openings for the month of October. This print was reported today at 10 a.m. and you can see that denoted by the little lightning bolt symbol on Topstep X. Now, I mentioned yesterday, and some folks were asking, what do the news events do to the market, and why do you choose not to trade around them? Well, let's take a look at the newsprint in real time and how the market reacts as we come into 10 o'clock here and look at the price action. We can see the DOM on the right side of the screen jumping multiple points at a time, that spread getting very, very wide as well. And what's happening here is as that number hits the wire, so the JOLTS job openings in this case, there are algorithmic trading programs that are immediately reacting to that data, as well as traders trying to jump in and out. And a lot of people, because they don't know how the market will necessarily react, they are going to also pull their orders, making the market very thin, otherwise known as there aren't a lot of resting orders there to make the price action smooth. And that's why we see this really wicky up and down. We can see we're now jumping through 210, putting a upper wick on the candle, now continuing through the wick. It's bananas. And really what's most important for us to remember is that it's dangerous. It's a very easy way to get swiped out of a trade, even if you're on the right side of the move due to slippage and that wide gap between the bid and the ask. So my personal recommendation, and what I do when I'm trying to conquer a combine, is I stay hands off during these newsprints and then trade the reaction afterwards. All right, so let's get into our trade review for the day. We can see here that we have a long buy order queued up at the 206 prior high level. And this is just after that JOLTS news we talked about. As I mentioned, want to see the reaction and then trade. So we got a really strong move to the upside right around that 226 prior high level. And now I'm expecting a pullback to this prior high area around 206 to hopefully get in long and join that trend. So we can see price just flirting with our entry here, and we finally get triggered in at 206. Now, going to be looking around that 226 high for our first scales, and we can see that we are putting those in now. And then for our kind of runner, more ambitious target, looking up towards that prior high from yesterday at 243. Now, as price is coming back in on us a little bit here, I do adjust our stop to give us just a little bit more room below that prior swing low there at 94.5. But thankfully, as we've now moved the stop, it looks like the buyers are coming in off that 200 big round number as well as the prior high, and we can see price action start to move in our favor. Now, we want to always keep in mind what we've learned from the market in our past trading adventures, and that is yesterday we were a little too quick to move our stop, and we ended up triggering ourselves out of some really great positions. So I'm very, very mindful of that here, and you can see I'm not moving that stop at all until we break into that 220 resistance area. We can see now we're bringing it up once we're far and clear of our entry. Now I'm looking for the red to green move on this 3-minute candle to hit our first scale, but it is stalling and could potentially create a lower high and continue a downtrend. So you can see my mouse hovering over the scale button there, and I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to be patient, but I do end up taking off one contract there out at 222. So that will give us a nice cushion and about a 18-point winner while we wait to see if we're going to be able to break that prior high that we set at 226. We're going to bring our stop loss up just a little bit, since if we are making that lower high, we don't want it to come back on us. But look at this, we're not. We trigger our second sell there at 226, a 20-point trade on our second contract with one runner to go. And now, again, we're in that beautiful free trade moment where we can just let this runner react. So you can see I'm putting our sell way up there in the 260s if the market does want to trend higher. And I'm now trailing very aggressively to that 222 area. And the reason we're trailing to 222 is that was where the market struggled to break, and we actually took off one contract potentially too early because we were seeing a lot of resistance there. So if price were to come back to 222 and give up the level, it's likely that we'll have a deeper pullback in store, and I don't want to do that. We can see we're up nicely on the day already. We're in the green on this trade. We don't want to let a winner turn into a loser, so I'm more than happy with putting the trade there. And the other thing I want to mention as the market comes down and does hit our stop here, yesterday our trades were big. They were long for a lot of time on the chart. This trade today was only a few minutes and netted us over $1,000. It's a really, really good reminder about what we were mentioning earlier in the start of the Combine episode, that we don't want to oversize. It does not take a lot of leverage in NQ to make a good amount of money, and here only using 20% or 3 contracts of our overall contract size, we were able to make over $1,000. So there's no need for additional risk beyond that. This is more than enough to conquer a Combine. All right, everyone. Well, that brings us to the end of day 2 of Conquering the Combine, and what a great day it was in the markets. We were able to add another $2,000 to our total here, bringing us already over a third of the way to our $9,000 profit goal and conquering this Combine. And how did we get there today? We got there across 9 trades with a very high 78% win ratio, with our largest winning trade being $1,040 and our largest losing trade being $405. Now, there's another thing to point out here. For those of you who watched yesterday, you might recall that our largest trade yesterday was $2,060, and our largest loser was over $600 as well. Today, our largest winner was half the size, and our largest loser was even smaller. Yet, we came out with a significant amount more profit than yesterday. It shows that sometimes those base hits in trading really do add up. You don't always have to swing for the fences, and less can be more in these markets. So until tomorrow for day 3, I can't wait to see what the market has in store and for you all to join me. Stay green, trading homies.
Ay, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a dream, next to the team, yeah, we get